Hopefully my audio isn't too garbaged here. It's been really quiet for the last few videos. Anyways, I'm going to try and make this little Eeyore in Blender. So I've already drawn him from a front back view and a side view. And this is based on an Animal Alley rabbit. These pieces here, I kind of looked at one of my favorite plush toys that I had from childhood, and this is how he's kind of assembled, and the client wants something kind of similar to that. It's going to be roughly based on this guy, Nice Good Flop. So I've got my image here, and I've got Blender open, and set my viewpoint here in Blender to the x-axis. That's the side view, and drag and drop this bad boy in here. And it's, you know, it's way off in the center. I want it to be in the center, so I'm just going to tell its location to be 0, 0, 0, and I'll scale that up just so it's easier for me to see. I like to model with things facing this way, positive on the y-axis, that's the front, but obviously I can't see my image from the side, so I'm going to go over to click on this image. Down here on the bottom, there's a little image icon. I'm just going to tell it to put both sides, and currently I can only see it in ortho view, which is just if you click on these axes. I want it to be able to be visible in perspective, so now when I spin around I can still see that. And opacity, I'm going to lower that. Depth, I'm going to leave in back. That means it's going to be shown behind whatever meshes and stuff I'm adding. You can always come back and shuffle it to the front and stuff. I like to model based on the head. You can put it anywhere you want. World origin is going to be the head, or I could do it here. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to duplicate it. Object duplicate. And I'm going to rotate the duplicated image. So z-axis 180. So now I have side view, front view. Drag this over here so that I have his little front view right here in the middle. Kind of try and center it. You can use this over here to scooch things around. I've got my side view and my front view lined up how I want them. And now I'm going to turn on these restriction toggles, and this icon is selectable. And if I just uncheck those, now I can't select and move my reference images by mistake. And from here, this is where you actually start the modeling process. You can use sculpting. I'm gonna show you like basic extrusion modeling. I know some people start with like a cube. I just start with whatever I think will work. In this case, he's very round. He's got a round little head. So I'm going to add a circle. And I don't want this to be too absurdly dense polygon-wise. I want it to have a point on this midline personally. So let me just add that in there. 16. Perfect. So I've got my circle mesh. It's just lines, just edges. And I'm going to move to edit mode to do this. And I'm just going to rotate it, scale it down, kind of put it right here for his neck. That's where I'm going to start. My images are a little too bright. I can't see very well, so make it so I can select those, adjust the visibility a little bit, lock them again. And so here's my circle. And you can do edge, extrude edges, and that's basically how we're going to do most of this bad boy. So I'm extruding here. I'm just going to follow his outline from the side view. And now for this end part here, I can extrude and then merge and set that there like that if I want to do that, or you can fill it in with some polygons by selecting these little vertices and pressing the F key. And once you make one face, you can just select two and keep pressing F, and it'll add more and more. But I'm just gonna use and you can change what you're editing up here in the top left. So I'm doing point. I'm gonna change my selector to a lasso because I like using that more. I'm just gonna do that merge at the center. So here's a rough idea of his head, and with my object selected in object mode, I'm gonna go to this wrench icon and add a modifier. And this is going to be under generate subdivision surface. This just adds more polygons. It's on like hard edge shading right now, so you can see the polygon. If you don't like that, you can go to shade smooth and you'll get a nice smooth appearance. If you have something that has hard edges on it, but it's also smooth, you can do shade auto smooth, and that will show things a little differently. This is going to be a really soft looking guy, so you're not going to really need that. So I'm just going to keep adding polygons, but not too many. We only need like enough to get this shape going. And if I want to keep track of how many polygons and vertices I have, I think it's under this right here, viewport overlays maybe, and statistics. And he's got about 4,000 triangles right now with subdivision. If I turn this lower, it'll go down, or if I take it off, it'll go down. If you're using Plushify, you want to keep that under 10K. Back into edit mode here. I'm just going to keep extruding this. I'm not going to bother with the legs. I'm just going to do the base form first. You can change your view around and see how he looks from different angles. So like up top, his neck looks kind of flat, so I might shrink this on the x-axis because I like this height, but I don't know if I like this width. And this kind of thing, you can try and do this, take it into account, but if you're using UV for your patterning process, it's not as accurate as like sculpting and taping a real model. That would be the most accurate way to do this. So here's a rough form for his body. Change the view and squish things around until I like it. This isn't going to be super accurate to the real world plush, because if you are using the UV maps, it will just act different from a normal sewing pattern. There's a lot more stretching happening in a UV map, so it'll smooth things out. Stuff will look blobbier, and I'll go over that in the UV's part again. So anyways, I've got his body, and I'm going to add another circle to make his little legs. Now, I'm adding his leg here. I'm going to make it a solid object. That'll just help with what I'm going to do later. And I'm just going to duplicate that leg for his little hind leg and edit a little bit. I know on this view his legs are kind of short, but they wanted his front legs to be a little bit longer. So there's little legs. I'm going to go back trying to add this ear again. To do that, I'm going to use the knife tool. And I'm just going to add those. And select these faces that I've added. And what I'm doing on this side is not going to mirror on that side right now. I will fix that after I get most of this modeling done. I'm going to extrude. Okay, so I've got an ear made, and I've got his body here. Now, what I could do is I could edit this area here, and I could make the leg come out of the body so it is one solid mesh, and that's probably a good idea and what I should do. Or I can use a modifier called a Boolean on the body and tell it to add union this leg, and then it will merge the mesh. And that's honestly the faster way I'm going to do it. So add the leg and copy this just so I have a backup. And so here's my little dude so far. We're going to apply subdivision and apply both of these booleans. And now these are fully permanent. If you don't apply them, it's just temporarily added, and so you can easily undo things. But now that I've got these applied fully, I can start actually marking my seams, and I still only have half of him. That's okay. It's just easier to work on one half first. I'm going to go to sculpt mode, maybe smooth these out a little bit, because I'm just going to add a fewer bundle of cuts anyways. So with my knife tool now, I can start marking my seams. Let's see. And if you double click the line, it will select that row of vertices if the mesh is clean enough.